Hello, everyone. Happy end of November. Hope that everyone had an amazing holiday and is enjoying this cold weather. That's why I've got this, snow jacket up to the neck. I swear our building heating it's either too hot in my office, too cold in my office. But anyhow, if you're watching this, you're watching the November mortgage update. Thank you for sticking through these month after month. Hope to bring you some great content. This month, I'm going to talk through my crystal ball readings. I don't do this often because I think it can be, putting yourself out on a limb, but I'm feeling pretty confident, feeling pretty risky. I just want to talk, and I have some stats to back it up. And once again, I'm somebody that I put my money where my mouth is. I'll talk about a personal experience that I've had that myself and my family have recently purchased a piece of dirt. So I'll talk through that and where there's some opportunity in this market. So before we jump into that, remember WhatcomHomeLoans.com is my personal website. Has on the resources tabs, this has all the prior mortgage updates, which you'll find this one so that you can hold me to this. If I predict something and it's completely wrong or it's completely right, we've got evidence. I've also got videos of different mortgage products, things like that, my online testimonials. You can apply, you can get a rate quote, all of that good stuff. Also, make sure you do subscribe to this channel where I post product videos, I post mortgage updates and all that good stuff. I'll also discuss the new 2024 loan limits, which came out yesterday. So this is hot off of the press. So once again, if you're seeing this video, you're either on my email list or maybe you're seeing it on social media, so you may not get this PDF. If you're seeing this, just contact me. I'm happy to add you to the email list so that you can get the PDF as well. So once again, I'm going to talk about my crystal ball, use some personal experience, also, my lending experience. I'm seeing multiple buyers, their scenarios, what deals they're getting, what deals they're not getting, how sellers are feeling, how buyers are dealing. I work with multiple real estate agents, right? I feel like I have a pretty good handle and pulse on the market. And then we'll talk about the new loan limits for 2024. So let's pull out my, I always like to do a little family update. Have to use Cruz. He's like, to me, he's the cutest kid in the world. Fatherhood's been great. He's going to be a year and a month. So his birthday is December 18th, which is wild. I can't believe I've been a dad for a year now. But yes, so we recently purchased a piece of land. And we're planning on building a home. It's actually going to be, I've built spec homes in the past and apartment buildings, but this is my first, Kara and I's first home that we've built together, a primary home. So using JWR, who are just amazing designers and architects, just cannot speak more highly of them. And so they've been amazing. And so we're going through the planning stage and all that, but why this is important, and a lot of times I don't pull in my personal transactions into these updates, but I think that this one is important because it really speaks to the opportunity in this market. I've got a lot of clients now, whether they're first-time home buyers or 10th-time home buyers, just with this high rate environment, saying, hey, I'm going to wait for the spring buying season. Hey, rates are too high. I'm going to wait. Once again, everyone's scenario is different. I'm not on my soapbox to say everyone needs to buy a house because that's completely not true. However, if your home that you're in now, whether you rent, own, is not suitable for the next few years, and you're looking to make a move, you need to listen to these pieces of advice or listen to them and don't take them. But once again, I put my money where my mouth is. That's why we pulled the trigger on our future dream home in this high rate environment. So here's my prediction. Then I'll talk about the numbers on this property. So it's going to be a slow market this winter. You've seen rates drop about 0.5% over the past few weeks, which is great, right? It's home affordability is at an all-time low. Home prices have stayed pretty stagnant, but haven't really crashed, right? I hear a lot of people, I'm going to wait till the market crashes. I got into the lending business in 2015. People were saying the same thing in 2015 when rates were 3.25%. Home prices, I bought my first house for $370,000. I felt like I overpaid. Now that home has doubled in value, right? So you're always going to have those people. There's going to be the mainstream media. You really need to break it down to what your personal scenario is. Take out the mainstream media, look at Whatcom County or Bellingham or Ferndale or wherever you're going to buy and start looking at the data and use me as a resource. So it's going to be a slow winter, right? We have low inventory. We have still, in low 7s, mid 7% interest rates. It's going to be tight. A lot of builders that I've been talking to, a lot of real estate agents I've been talking to, a lot of builders have paused home starts. A lot of builders are not very busy right now. So we're starting to see some construction costs coming down. But a lot of them have paused on building because of high rates and easing home prices, right? They don't make the same amount of money. It's a little bit riskier. So when you have that, and then you've also got, this is a mind-blowing stat to me, 70.7% of mortgage rates are less than 4%. So, right, we're all jumping up and down. Hey, mortgage rates went down from 8% to 7.5%, or 7.75 to 7.25. Well, 70% of the population still has under a 4% mortgage rate. So do you think if rates go down, because my big prediction is mortgage rates are going to go to 5.5 to 6.5% in the next 6 to 12 months, maybe even sooner than that. And what that's going to create, let me show my face a little bit. What that's going to create is more buyer demand, but is that going to create more inventory, right? It's just simple economics, right? Higher demand, lower inventory creates the prices going up, right? If there's low demand, high inventory, prices go down, right? It's very simple. Well, there's going to be low inventory because 70% of people have under a 4% rate. So what I'm hearing all the time is, I want to keep my house still and I want to rent it out, and I'll figure out how to buy my next house. Or gosh, I don't want to move right now because I've got a 2.75% interest rate, 3.25% interest rate, what have you. Totally makes sense. I get it. You've also got home builders that have paused, right? So we're going to have an even bigger compression of market inventory, especially here in Whatcom County, because current homeowners aren't going to want to sell because of low rates. And home builders, even if rates come down, it's cheaper for them to borrow money to build, what have you. It still takes 9 to 12 months to build a house, right? So we are going to have an even more competitive market, in my point of view, with lower rates. If they get to 5.5, 6.5%, you're going to have more of those first-time home buyers saying, yep, I'm ready to buy a house. Maybe even those move-up buyers, hey, I'm ready to buy a house. But they may be ready to buy a house, but they may not sell their current house. So we're going to have a massive inventory problem. So the positive of all of this, right? Lower mortgage rates, more digestible mortgage payments. I'm all for that. It's going to increase my business. I totally get that. The negative, though, is lower mortgage rates are going to trigger that higher demand, which will start driving up home prices again. Not 20% year over year like COVID, but it will gradually drive up those home prices. So if rates go from, I've got a buyer that says, hey, I'm pre-approved at 7.75. I don't want to buy yet. Rates are too high. Let's say rates go to 6.5%. They come to me, hey, Dylan, I'm ready to buy. Well, what if home prices now have escalated 10%? That monthly payment is probably going to be virtually the same because the home price went up and you have less equity. So my big kind of soapbox and big opportunity here is the best time actually to buy a home was October 27th, the height of mortgage rates. Why is that? Well, because there was less demand, right? So if you're a seller, you're in a different pair of shoes here. If you're a seller, October 27th is probably the worst time to sell a home. And I'll show you some of the interest rate graphs here in a second. But once again, people are sitting on a lot of equity and a lot of low rates. Look at this, just to drive my point home. So this is if you have under a 3% interest rate, are you going to sell? Not selling. 3 to 4%, probably not selling. Orange, 4 to 5%, must think really hard before selling. 5 to 6%, probably. Okay, so this is people that are locked in, not if rates go to that, but these are current FHFA loans with mortgage rates at time of origination. And then over 6%, they would sell their home. So once again, even if rates go to 5.5 to 6%, it doesn't mean there's going to be a surplus of inventory hitting the market. But I bet there will be a surplus of buyers jumping into the market. So if you're a seller, I'd say maybe wait if you don't need to move right now. If you're a buyer, first-time home buyer, really financially set up to buy a home, I would buy sooner than later. And I will drive my point home with my personal situation here. So this is the lot that we purchased, and this is all public information. Bought it for $255,000. The sellers of this property had a unique scenario, and I won't get into all this, but we bought this October 5th of 2023. Okay, that's when we closed. These sellers bought the property for $271,500. You can look this up. They bought it January of 2022. Let's look to drive home my point of demand. Let's see what mortgage rates were at when they bought this property. Let me make my face a little smaller. So January of 2022, and this is Freddie Mac's website, average mortgage rate, 30-year paper in the United States, okay? January of 2022, average mortgage rate was 3.22%. Okay. What was the average mortgage rate October 5th? Right? 7.5. So the sellers walked away a $16,500 price drop. They had to pay the selling costs, so the realtor and excise tax. They walked away from $28,689. You divide that by their original purchase price, they lost 10.5%. Or I gained 10.5% by buying this property in a high interest rate environment. Because my family needs, we want to build a house that's more conducive to our family needs, right? I'm not if our house is perfect and set up, and trust me, we're at a low 2% interest rate on a 15-year note. So I'm in the same boat as a lot of people, but my family circumstances, we want to move to a different area. We need something that's a little more conducive for Cruz and for our next kid. And so that has driven some of this conversation. But I was able to secure a 10.5% discount because of this interest rate difference. When rates are 3.2%, a lot more buyer demand, right? A lot more appetite for, hey, I can borrow on a lot loan. I can get a construction loan, right? When rates are higher, less demand, able to get a better deal. When rates come down, I could just sit on this lot and wait for rates to come down to then pull the trigger, right? Construction loans completely different than buying an existing home, but it also works the same. I have many, many clients that are buying right now that are getting massive seller credits, doing seller paid buy down, lowering their interest rates to make the monthly payment more attainable. So that is where the opportunity is in this market. Once again, we've had if you look at mortgage rates here recently, 0.5% drop since October. And sorry, I said October 27th was the best time to buy a home. October 26th, also the worst time to sell a home because rates are high, right? Marry the home, date the rate. So now we've seen a 0.5% drop in mortgage rates. Well, the neighboring property, so our property is a third of an acre, backs up to farmland. The neighboring property next to us just went for sale for $264,000, right? $9,000 more, and it's a smaller lot, same area right next door, but it's about 5,000 square feet smaller, but it costs more. Why? Well, mortgage rates have gone down, right? We'll see if they get that price, but once again, supply and demand. That's all we're talking about here. So I think, the real pocket for opportunity, first-time home buyers, move-up buyers. In Whatcom County, if you've got a property that's worth, sub 600, sub 700,000, those are getting snapped up quick. People don't want fixer-uppers right now. They want the home to be dialed in. Consult with your favorite real estate agent, or if you need one, reach out to me. But people want move-in ready homes because it costs a lot of money to borrow money to remodel and rehab a home. And then if you're trying to move up, the $1 million+ price point, very, very slow. You have some opportunity there. Even the over 800,000, not as much buyers looking in that opportunity. And we'll talk about the conforming loan limit in a second here. Or if you're a first-time home buyer, you're paying 100% interest rate anyway by renting a home. Rent prices are going to continue to go up because, once again, mortgage rates are higher. It costs more to build these apartment buildings. It costs more to buy an investment property, so on and so forth. So let's look at mortgage applications. Well, since rates have gone down, mortgage applications have gone up. This is just the start. It's a very seasonal business, so I think there's still some opportunity in the next 3 months. But if you wait for that spring market, which we didn't even have this year, if you're waiting for an explosive amount of inventory, go back to my point about home starts and what people's interest rates are. We're just not going to see it. It's going to be a very compressed inventory market, but you're going to have more buyers the more that rates drop. So just follow rates on this Freddie Mac website. It's very simple. It's the average 30-year note, or follow my videos for more. So the new conforming loan limits. If you go to WhatcomHomeLoans.com, resources, loan limits, here are the new loan limits for Whatcom County. That's where I am stationed, for lack of a better term. So they were $726,200. Now it's $766,550. You can see the differences from 2023 to 2024. FHA stayed unchanged, which was pretty interesting. I think this is the first time in my lending career FHA has not changed their loan limits. These are loan maxes, not purchase price maxes. Okay. And if you recall in previous videos, you can now do a 5% down on a primary 2 to 4 unit property. So this is what you can borrow, right? You need 5% down, but this is what you can borrow. So that's not indicative of purchase price. You have to find the net difference in that. But now, looking at if you borrow over $766,550, you're in jumbo territory, which just has different guidelines, stricter guidelines, bigger down payments, things like that. Reach out to me if you have any questions on that, but that's very exciting. A $50,000 increase on, or $40,000 rather, dollar increase on conforming loan limits, which is great. This is in Whatcom County. If you're in a high cost area, those loan limits are bigger. So let's go quickly over mortgage rates. So as I showed you, they've dropped about 0.5%, which is awesome. This is on a $700,000 purchase price, 10% down, over 780 credit, 30-year fixed, single family, all the bells and whistles. 6.99 would cost you 1.5 points. So we're starting to see, that high sixes to mid sevens on the rates. First time in probably a few months that mortgage rates have gone down for my videos, but mortgage applications are up. So once again, opportunity for buyers right now, and it's not going to last long. If my prediction is correct that mortgage rates are going to keep trickling down, you're going to start seeing the headline news, mortgage rates drop again. That's going to trigger a lot of buyers to jump off the fence. Turn times are really quick right now. Very, very quick turn times. Reach out to me if you want to get pre-approved. I think it's still very important to get pre-underwritten right now. Get approved for our Security Plus program. Gives you a $10,000 backing on your offers. Once again, there is still competitive price points. I've got certain clients I'm thinking of right now that are looking in the $500,000 to $600,000 range, anywhere from Blaine to Mount Vernon. They've made 3 different offers and been beat out on multiple. The last one, they offered $10,000 over the list price. The home went $100,000 over in Mount Vernon, cash. So this video is also not like, oh, there's so much opportunity for buyers. You can get things for $100,000 under. There's certain pockets in certain areas, but in those competitive price points, it is still competitive out there because why? Inventory is low. That's going to be the main driver, the main topic of the next year or two is my prediction. If you have any comments, questions, leave them on the YouTube video. Reach out to me. I'm always happy to discuss anything and everything. Do subscribe to the channel and then reach out to me if you have any questions. Share this as well. Any friends, family, coworkers looking to buy or sell real estate, if they have any questions on this, they can reach out to me or check out the video. Feel free to share it with them, and we'll catch you next month in December.